Hi there, it's Elizabeth Ritchie with Rambana and Ritchie Immigration Attorneys. I've gotten so many questions as a result of last week's Supreme Court decision on DACA. I thought I'd do another video. So I hope this video answers some of your DACA related questions. First, I'd like to mention that USCIS issued a statement on the Supreme Court decision, which was written by conservative Chief Justice John Roberts. USCIS claimed the decision has, quote, no basis in law. So with that said, regardless of how the leadership at USCIS feels, the Supreme Court has spoken with its order, and USCIS now must continue adjudicating DACA requests, specifically the following DACA requests. Those who have DACA can now renew. Those whose DACA expired 1 year ago or less may renew. Those whose DACA expired more than a year ago may not renew, but may file as an initial application. Those whose DACA was terminated may not renew, but may file as an initial application. We still have lots of questions though. So in order to comply, USCIS is going to have to issue some guidance and tell us how applicants should proceed whose applications were suspended under prior court orders, because the June 18th Supreme Court decision requires Department of Homeland Security to maintain the DACA program unless and until DHS follows the correct procedure to terminate it. The reason I mention that is that DACA was declared as of last week by the Supreme Court a program to stay in place for two reasons. One is that immigration did not give a valid reason to terminate the program, and two, the Trump administration did not take into consideration the effect the termination would have on the 800,000 DACA holders, their 200,000 US citizen children, the companies, the American companies that have spent time, money, and energy training those DACA employees, and of course the DACA holders who own and operate their own US businesses. So that being said, what is going to happen? We don't have the guidance which we desperately need, especially with regard to advance parole. Advance parole is the travel document, it's the golden ticket. Because if you have an advance parole and you use it, you can leave and re-enter the country legally with inspection, and then have the benefit of being able to file for future immigration processes in the country without having to leave, without having to file any kind of a waiver. A lot of people were hesitant to file that travel document under DACA previously before it was terminated in 2018. And I understand that hesitation. However, those who did file and take advantage of the travel document are at a tremendous advantage, especially those who are married to US citizens. So what are some reasons that immigration was granting the travel document for? Humanitarian, financial, academic, and employment. When I say humanitarian, I'm talking about going to see that dying grandparent, documenting that that person is your grandparent and their medical conditions. That was a reason that in the past USCIS allowed for someone to get a travel document. A financial reason might be having inherited property. For example, I had a client who inherited property in Mexico and was required to go in person to sign for it. We showed that with extensive documentation from the real estate attorney in Mexico. Another reason might be attending a conference for work or for school. Obviously, you have to show the conference date, that invitation, all of the documentation that would go with why you would attend that kind of a conference. Then you go, you come back legally, and now you have been inspected, which is, of course, a reason why so many DACA holders were held back because of unlawful inspections, or rather no inspections. And the other reason, of course, people file for DACA was as overstays, because if you have an overstay of more than a year, then you're subject to a lengthy reentry bar. So advance parole will be particularly helpful to so many DACA holders. If you're thinking of filing for DACA, let's consider a few points. This administration is not happy. They had a particularly bad week last week with two Supreme Court decisions not in their favor, this being one of them. They could very easily issue a new memorandum rescinding DACA before the applicant receives a decision. So if you're thinking of filing, keep that in mind. Without the guidance that we need, USCIS officers will most definitely reject new initial applications or accept them and then deny them, and then those filing fees, of course, are lost. Thirdly, USCIS was already backlogged, right? So this is only going to cause additional delays in processing. They're basically going bankrupt. They're requesting a loan from Congress, and their fees are going up probably 10% in July. They will be furloughing several employees, which will, of course, make their backlog even worse. Given the uncertainty around DHS plans and their temperament of late, coupled with the COVID-19 crisis, you may want to think twice about filing in what may be premature application. If you already have DACA, it's likely wise to apply for advance parole if and when DHS gives us that necessary guidance. So those are my takes on the questions I've gotten since last week's DACA decision from the Supreme Court. I look forward to your questions, elizabeth@randana.com, or of course here on social media, you're welcome to comment and post your questions. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.